So I just want to show you a little bit about the HIDFast Fastener itself and kind of how it works. It looks very similar to a flooring cleat or flooring nail. The difference with this is that it's got this tine on it right here. That's actually what the next board goes onto and holds it. There's a nice little diagram back here on the box. You can see that. It's a very fast system. The fasteners are stainless steel. I can't recall what number stainless steel they are, but I do know that they are not approved for coastal environments at this point. And the reason is that you need a very strong stainless to penetrate and drive with the force that these go into. And when you start getting into those very pure stainless fasteners, they just start to deform and they actually won't penetrate. Okay, so I have the first board that we're going to installed with some face fasteners against the house. In this case, I just used this very small trim head stainless screw. I'll probably go back and replace those with color match screws once I pick some up. But it's important to put that first board in with the face screw because that's really going to determine how straight your boards, the following courses to come will be. So you want to make sure that that board is extremely straight. In this case, you can see I snapped two lines. The first outer line was at 6 inches out from the house, and it was giving me a little bit too much of a gap against the siding, so I cheated in another quarter. So that line is at 5 3/4 off of the sheathing of the house, and we snapped that line, and the board is fastened along that line the whole way down to keep it very straight. And sometimes too, a little trick is the house can actually not be straight. It's a good habit to get into is to eyeball that board. Just sight it right down the joist. Make sure that it is in fact straight because sometimes you might have to cheat it a little bit. I have my HIDFast tool ready to go. It's loaded with fasteners. I'm plugged into air. I'm running about 90 psi in this case because we're installing cellular PVC decking. It's pretty straightforward. I have that first board installed. I'm just going to go in here, a little precarious, and I'm going to put my first set of fasteners in right now. Boom, I'm done. Just go down the joists. Gentle tap, that's all you got to do. You don't have to kill it. The common mistake that people do with this tool is they overdrive the fasteners. Let the tool do the work. It's actually, I just hit a knot. It's a little precarious where I am now because I can't get at a good angle to the tool. But once you're able to work on the deck and hit back towards yourself, it goes very fast. Okay, the first board has been installed with a row of HIDFast cleats. We're ready to install the next board at this point. All I'm going to do is basically place this board just about where I want it. Now in this case I have an angle on the board against this bump out on the house. So I kind of just have to do a little guesstimating as to how far out the board needs to be before it gets pushed in, but it's real simple. Alright, we're ready to install the next board onto the HIDFast fasteners that we've already installed. The trick to installing this board is touch. You don't want to overdrive it. I see a lot of guys installing the board like this, hitting the board between your legs. That is absolutely the wrong technique. What you want to do is always work from one side to another. Okay, get the board in a position, left, right, pretty much where you want to do it. And you actually want to put if you're right-handed, you want to put your left hand on your left knee. I'm standing on the board, and I'm actually hitting the board now here in front of me. I'm not here, I'm here. And you don't have to kill it. This is a little hard because there's not room for me to work. But what this is doing is keeping the back side of the board down onto the joists, keeping it very flat. And I'm not killing the board here. Gentle taps. Again, I'm having a little bit of a hard time because my body's too big here to fit, so I'm a little off balance, but Mike, come on over. Let's look in the gaps and we'll show about how far I set this board. See if you can get a close-up in here. You'll notice that right now, we're not all the way home on the fastener. There's a little bit of a gap. That's what we want. When we put that next fastener in, it's going to suck it tight. So don't overdrive it. That's the key to consistent spacing. So now you can see that is what pretty much a properly driven fastener is going to look like right on down the line. Okay? And if you look down the board here, you can see that the gap is nice and consistent the whole way. You know, this is one of those situations where you want to be pretty concerned with your spacing in the beginning. And as you get closer out to the edge, you know, you're going to get drift. It's inevitable. You'll drive yourself crazy trying to chase 30 seconds and 16ths. You know, after all, it is just the deck. But take it from me, spend a few extra minutes to get it right on the first couple of courses, and the rest of the job will go a lot easier for you. Okay, so we covered the basics of installing a board, but one of the tricks you're going to have to learn how to do, if you do it, is how to do a random butt joint in the field of decking. Normally we don't do them, we use seam boards in the deck. However, this customer wanted the random look of joints, and it's easy to do with the HIDFast. There's just a couple of little tricks. So if you come take a look at this joint over here, let's look at this one first, Mike. This is what they look like finished, okay? So you have two fasteners here, grabbing each board, two fasteners each there, grabbing each board, and then the next full board going into it. If you come over here, we're set up for our next seam board. And one of the tricks that we actually kind of just figured out was to put this line on the previous board. It really helps you align the tool to set the fastener. So what Mike's been doing, he's been my cut man and doing the layout. He's been striking a line with the speed square approximately 1/4 of an inch in from the joist, which lets me align, I'll show you, lets me align where this is where the fastener comes out on the HIDFast. So I know as long as I line up that tool right on Mike's line, it's going to drive it there. Once we drive that fastener, we'll line up the tool to the fastener installed and shoot the second one. I'm going to show you how we do it. Alright, so in order to do a butt joint in the field, real simple. You're going to pull your detent pin up. This thing has a lot of stops in it. They click, they clack. They really just frustrate me. I don't really worry about it. It just kind of stays in here, and I bump it up and down as needed just with the hammer. So we're going to pull it up. Like I said, I'm going to just line up the tool to the mark that is already on the board. Just like that. Alright, I'm not using the pin. I'm lining up. You can use this screw here or the hole, but I'm going to drive a fastener. Fastener's in. Now, get it from the side, Mike, so they can see. There's a little plate on the side of the HIDFast that'll touch that. Just like that. Second one. Now they're spaced pretty much perfectly for you. And then you can just drop down the pin. Mike, let me show you people how I do it. I don't use the detent. I'll usually just do that, or if I need it up, I'll just do that and like that. You really don't need to click them in and out. It kind of takes a little bit too long. And you just go and install your boards as normal.